On this episode, we review our recent trip, and in part one, we talk lunch at Jaleo, a stay at the Treehouse Villas in Saratoga Springs, snacks and mocktails, and the Main Street 16 Challenge. Today is May 3rd, 2024. This is episode 664 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. And if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you're planning that trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World, you did not get the advanced dining reservations that you wanted so badly. Don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. Also at msmfriends.com, you will find our friends over at Vacation Grocery Delivery. Unlike other delivery services, they do not mark up the price of each individual item. They have one set delivery fee, and they do not drop orders. So head out to msmfriends.com and check out Vacation Grocery Delivery. All right, this will be a two-parter from our recent trip because there's just a lot to unpack. There's a lot to go over.
Yeah, because why? 1 week from today, Jeremy, what will we be doing?
Well, we're getting on a cruise 1 week from today.
We will be on the cruise.
On a cruise 1 week from this moment.
On the boat.
Yeah.
The magic.
So this was, so we're coming off a trip. We're going right into another. Rhonda's working every day, but one or two of them. I'm catching up on a whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to make this into two episodes. Yeah, we still got to pack. But this was a 5-night trip, and it was a split stay. And this trip was very much two trips. It was a Main Street 16 trip, and then it was a kind of relax, have a vacation after all the insanity of that trip.
Yes.
So we'll basically go over the first half, which will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, with the stay at Saratoga Springs, everything that happened over those days. And then next episode on Tuesday, you'll get the remainder of the trip as we moved over to Poly. We ate some places, we did some things, and that'll be the second part. So let's get into Thursday on our travel day down. We're going to head to Disney Springs. This was going to be a late anniversary celebration lunch by going to Jaleo by Jose Andres there in Disney Springs. But we did stop first because you continued to break the rules of not getting each other gifts.
Well, okay. Well, this was much needed for you. So,
and we'll say that because, and Ron and I have this conversation before anything that involves gifts. Christmas and birthdays and anniversaries, we're usually like, are we getting each other anything? Yeah, let's go ahead. Or,
right.
You know, I got you something, and then somebody else goes, the other person goes, well, then I'll get you something. Or we simply say, there's a giant 5-night trip coming up, and there's a cruise coming up. Let that be our gift.
But
you decided to go along with none of that.
Well, but here's the reason why. So back in December when we had our wedding for our friends, Jeremy bought Tommy Bahama pants from Tommy Bahama Outlet in our outlets by us. Well, I was fortunate enough to go to Cast Connections where I was able to pick up a Tommy Bahama dress and I was going to keep for the cruise. Well, they didn't tell. Well, let me go back and say that Jeremy just didn't get Hey Dude's shoes that everybody else got because he already had shoes and he's like, I'll wear these. And the bride didn't care back for the wedding. Well, I was like, I want to get him some of those. So that was the first gift to go along for the cruise and to be able to wear them. And then
they're a game changer. These Hey Dude shoes they're unbelievable. They're amazing.
Good. We'll have to get you some more pairs. Anyways, so then we were going to Disney Springs. So I was like, I want to get him a Tommy Bahama shirt to match everything. So we did. And that was really cool because you do get your Disney discount, which is 10% there. So we got him a nice little shirt and he has a nice whole outfit to wear at Palo, and we have brunch on the cruise.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I will say this about expensive fancy clothes. I don't understand why they don't make them like cheap clothes, because I already washed the Tommy Bahama shirt, and any of these shirts, they're wrinkly. They're all wrinkly.
You scared me.
Like the sleeves are wrinkly. The collar will never be the same again. I own other shirts like that. If you go to if you go to Walmart and you buy a Disney shirt with a collar and button up for $9.99, it will hold up better than $100 and something Tommy Bahama.
Well,
now, I love this Tommy Bahama shirt.
You know, we
it's
have
amazing.
Well, we don't, but on the cruise, you can iron it. I'm sure.
I'm aware. I don't want to have to iron my clothing. That's why most of my clothing is wrinkle free. But it just amazes me that the less expensive, air quote, cheaper stuff is so much easier to take care of and maintain than the super expensive stuff. But I love the shirt. I'm super excited to wear it to Palo. So thank you.
You're super handsome in it.
Thank you. I love it. Mother's Day is coming up. Am I getting you a gift for that? You should alert me now.
Yeah, I'm not your mother.
I have to. Yeah, but I always get you gifts for Mother's Day. You're the mother of my kids.
Well, the kids are old enough now. Lacey already told me she got me something.
She did.
And she's very excited and wants to give it to me before I leave.
Yeah. Maybe we can do that tonight or something, because I know what it is.
You do?
Yeah. I gave her the money for it. She doesn't have a job. Rhonda. And if you think she's using any money she makes from chores on a person other than herself, you're greatly mistaken.
I know.
Because she is not. So she said, Dad,
well, there you go.
will you send me X number of dollars so I can buy this thing that I saw? And I said,
that's
of course.
Sweet. Well, then no.
You may end up with a ship gift. I'll
Oh.
say that. Maybe end up with something I find on the ship. This is how well I prepare people.
Well, no, it's fine. I'm not your mother. You already gave the child.
I think in these scenarios, though, you can still give. Oh, by the way, shoot, I gotta send my mom a card before we leave.
Yeah,
but I think that you can still give mothers a gift or fathers a gift on those holidays, based on them being within your family. Like, yes, I would give my mom a card or something, but she is my mom. But you are a mother of my kids.
Right.
So I think it makes sense for me to give you something as well. I'm really just leading up because I'd like something for Father's Day. So that's really all we're getting at is a trade up.
Right.
So maybe I get a ship gift. Maybe we just each pick each other out something. What if we just give each other each a $50 Disney gift card? Let's just do it that way. But beyond Tommy Bahama, we got that. And then we headed to Jaleo by Jose Andres. Rhonda, go ahead through some of our normal bullet points in case people are unfamiliar with Jaleo, which we had not dined here in some time, about 2 years, I believe.
Yeah, this is located in the west side at Disney Springs, pretty much across from Splitsville and right next to Summer House. And this is seafood and Spanish. This is fine/signature dining. Dining plans and discounts. Dining plans are 2 credits for lunch and dinner. And then, of course, you get your annual pass, which is 10% off, excluding rapid lunch, though, which we will discuss in a few minutes. Times run from 11:30 a.m. to 3:55 p.m. and dinner is from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. And again, because that 5-minute doesn't mean that the menu changes, really.
Yeah, it doesn't really change, but we're going to talk about the almuerzo rapido, which is their rapid lunch. That is specific to lunch, and we'll go over that some. But we got there. We had an 11:35 reservation, and this opened at 11:30,
which is super funny.
And as we were sat, just the two of us, we were sat at a 2-top. We were the first or second group to enter the building.
Second.
There was a table of 4 nearby, and I think I saw maybe one other table sat probably by the time we were leaving. So it was like dead in there. It was actually really nice.
It was
super quiet. It's a beautiful location. The decor and all is amazing. There's 2 floors. We were
on the first.
Yeah, we were down on the first. You could still look out. There's outdoor seating there, and we could still look out and see the water there at Disney Springs and amphibicars and stuff like that as they made their way by. Which, by the way, in the Florida sun, you can get an umbrella.
Yeah.
On the amphibicars. So something to ask about if they don't offer I don't know if it's additional cost or anything. We still need to do those one of these days.
Something else.
But Stephanie was our cast member and our waitress. She was wonderful in going through the menu. This is Spanish tapas. Only like real meal here, I feel like, is if you do the paella, which takes 45 minutes to 60 minutes for them to prepare.
Yeah.
And it will feed multiple people. But otherwise, you're looking at ordering multiple small plates. And for a lot of people, a lot of these menu items and stuff are probably somewhat unfamiliar to them. So it's great to have a very knowledgeable wait staff that can help explain things and point things out. And being there when nobody else is around meant that she got to spend kind of extra time, talking to us. But I knew ahead of time that I really wanted to do the almuerzo rapido. So this is lunch in an hour, the Jose way.
Huh.
And this is available Monday through Thursday only. This was a Thursday from 11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. This is $35 per person. You can add a glass of red sangria for $5. This offer cannot be combined with any other discount or promotion. So you cannot use this with your annual pass.
But you know what you can do?
What can you do? Please tell me.
You can only buy one instead of, since it was me and you, instead of $35 per person, which means, $70 for me and you could have bought one and we could have shared it. And then we could have found something else on the menu, another tapa that we wanted to have, which was super cool. But we did not do it that way. But if you are looking to save some money or if you don't eat a lot, like once this was done, I think we probably could have split possibly.
We could have, we'll go through the amount of food. We could have easily split this. And if we really wanted added something extra, I mean, we didn't eat another meal this day because this was plenty of food. And I will tell you, when they say lunch in an hour, they are correct. And what's great is this is lunch. You are in and out in an hour, and not once do you feel rushed. I mean, it doesn't feel like a rushed lunch.
Correct.
This isn't lunch in 30 minutes. This isn't like sit down. What do you want to drink? What do you want to eat?
Right.
Boom, let's get it out here. All right, scarf it down here, people, and get out of here. We got to turn it over to another table.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could have sat there for longer, but it really fits within that 1 hour period.
Yes.
There are two big journeys that I think I was on for this trip, which was one, we mentioned last time, was a long list of Disney snacks. And we're going to get to those.
Yeah.
Trust me, we snacked a lot. The other one was for me to start exploring non-alcoholic beverages and mocktails. And I was able to do a lot of those over these 5 days that we will talk about as well. So I will start on the drink menu. In addition to their house-made sangrias, both red and white, which are very good. They do have a long list of cocktails, a full bar. They have some wonderful selections we've both had in the past and have enjoyed. I was eyeballing on their zero proof list, the Lotus.
Yes.
So this has Seedlip Spice, London Essence, White Peach, and Jasmine Soda, vanilla syrup for $12. So you're going to find two variations of non-alcoholic beverages at Disney. You're going to have non-alcoholic beverages, and you're going to have zero proof cocktails or mocktails. So the non-alcoholic beverages are going to be more in lines of what are going to fall under sodas and teas and the lemonades, different flavored lemonades. And, you might find some other stuff like we'll talk about the lava smoothie, later at Polly next episode. That's much more of your kind of standardized non-alcoholic, because that's the way they come, beverages. They're zero proof, which are making their way to more menus and having their own section. These are all crafted in the same manner that a alcoholic cocktail would be crafted.
Correct.
For example, Seedlip is a brand of non-alcoholic zero proof spirits. So they have this Seedlip Spice, for example. They have several other, and these are going to be used throughout Disney property in some different areas. Basically, what they go through, you're still going, for example, to the bar to have this beverage, and they are crafting it like they would alcohol.
Yes.
Right? And the reason this is $12 when your standard alcoholic beverage may ring in at $14 to $18, this one is still a little expensive under the zero proof, because they are, what I've learned is non-alcoholic and zero proof spirits, beers, wines, they all go through the same process as you would to make the alcoholic version. So that's the reason they're not any cheaper. Like this Seedlip Spice for a 750 milliliter bottle is about $32. If you were to go buy a 750 milliliter bottle of just say Tito's vodka or just say a good spiced rum, you're probably spending about the same because it goes through the same process. Some of them are even alcohol removed. So they'll actually go through the same process, make an alcoholic beverage, and then go through a process to remove it. They're sometimes even more expensive because there's an extra step.
That's crazy.
So it was just one of those things that I learned. I'll say going through this, and I'll just get it out of the way now, is I now very much appreciate these zero proof mocktails as someone who has been very used to drinking alcoholic beverages. And there is a process of that, of going up and looking at a menu and picking out something you think you like and watching them handcraft it in front of you and make it. It's not all just about like the alcohol. It's about, I think, the kind of just everything around it. And so I like a lot more seeing a menu where, you know, you might be ordering a handcrafted cocktail. I'm getting a handcrafted mocktail.
Right.
And it's going through the same process, and it makes you feel a little more involved, to be honest, as opposed to me saying, I'll take a Sprite.
Right.
So I really appreciated a lot of that. And we'll talk next episode, something we learned that's very interesting about zero proof and non-alcoholic beverages and the way that the industry is starting to go. But getting back to it, this was delicious.
First of all, it was beautiful. It was in
Beautiful.
a wine glass.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a little light pink. It was very beautiful. And holy moly, the taste was fantastic.
It was so good.
I opted for water
Mm-hmm.
while he had this, and I just took a couple of sips. But wow, I would have, if it would have been $12, I think I might have wanted one myself. It was really good.
Yeah, Stephanie told us that they're making the vanilla syrup with actual like vanilla beans. You know, this isn't just like an extract or something. It's light, it's refreshing. This is a perfect accompaniment to these tapas and some things that might be a little spicy. This would be a good poolside beverage. And with all of it, now we didn't ask, and because again, this is all new in many ways, we'll make sure to do in the past or in the future. I mean, I don't see any reason that for an added cost, Rhonda couldn't have said, I really like this drink. I would like one with vodka, or I would like one with rum.
Sure.
They're probably going to charge you for a shot of vodka or rum, but many of these you can turn into that. You're going to find hard pressed, because I looked, you're going to find hard pressed to find an alcoholic beverage that you can make non-alcoholic. It is much easier to do the reverse and take a non-alcoholic and say, you know what, I'd really like this with some vodka. They'll charge you extra. You get it with vodka. So definitely a possibility. All right, let's talk a little bit about our rapid lunch. You are going to choose one from each of 3 tapas sections, and then you're going to pick a dessert. So this is a 4-course meal per person.
And I let Jeremy just pick the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I knew he, A, knew what he wanted, and B, I'm just here to help eat, and he's the foodie person. So this is twice I let him do this. And the other time we were at, I'll jump ahead a little bit, California Grill. And I didn't mean to, but I think you thought I kind of made you sound like you beat me or something because of the way
I felt bad. We can talk about it more when we get to California Grill, but I've seen, you see occasions usually, I mean, it's on TV and movies where like the man or something orders for both, as though he's like, yeah, I'll do the steak and lobster. She'll have a salad. You know what I mean? Like you see, and I was like, I don't want anyone to think that. Like, you give me permission to say, funny. You know what? I don't really know what I'm getting. And I know there's certain things that we want, because we try and balance it too. Ron and I will never order the same thing at a restaurant, no matter how much we may want it. We'll order things, and a lot of times, and again, California Grill, we'll talk about a lot of times, like if I'm going to order a seafood dish, then Rhonda will order a meat or poultry dish. Right. So we can get those two sides.
Again,
but it is funny because I'm just like,
you do it because you know what I like, you know what, and then you know what you like too.
Right.
And if it's a situation where it's a dinner where you're like, I need to try this because this is what we're talking about. Yeah. Or if it's a situation where you're like, I'm just going to let her decide the taste where I don't need to taste it. Like if it is a mushroom or a mustard or whatever, he does, you do value my well, not value, trust my
I trust
opinion.
it very much. No, it was funny though. But in a situation like this where everything is shareable,
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, if there's 4 options in each, 4 to 5 options in each of these. If there had been 4 of us, right? Like if we went next, because Chuck and Amy love this place, they were still driving down, right? To meet us. And let's just say the 4 of us went to a lunch, or any of our other friends, couples. And I would almost say to them, all right, we're each doing the Rapido lunch. Are you guys okay with me just ordering everything? So, you know what I mean? Because you can say, we'll take all 4 from the first section, all 4 from the second section, and we'll take these 4 out of 5 from the third. If everybody's okay with everything there, then they can just bring it as it's ready. They can set it in the table and we can all eat it. It's not being, passed around per person. So, on the first section, which is very much more of that appetizer style section, kind of like I'd say the salad section, really, as opposed to like general appetizers. They have an ensalada verde with green salad with tomato, olives, and red onion. They have a gazpacho de tomate with classic chilled Spanish soup made with tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers. We went for the pan de cristal con manchego, which is toasted slices of uniquely crispy and ethereal bread brushed with fresh tomato. Of course, this comes with a slice of manchego on top.
Mm-hmm.
For an additional $5, you could get their albarica, which is like it's a pork, almost like a ham, like an aged ham.
Oh.
And I believe it is the one. Do you remember what they were selling at Costco for a little bit? Where you actually got the whole. It was like it's a leg. It is an aged leg of ham, and I think it's a barraca that sits on this stand, and it has a special knife to thinly slice off pieces of it. Right?
That's weird.
So we opted for that, and then we opted for the endivias con queso de cabra y naranjas.
Good job.
And this is endives with goat cheese, oranges, and almonds. Let's start with the tomato bread, which we've had here before. We get every time we're at Coronado. We will be probably having it at Three Bridges here in a couple of weeks when we go down. This had the added manchego on top. How did you like this? And all of these dishes come out as they're ready. So you're going to order everything at once, aside from dessert, as they're made. Which this is toasted bread, a pre-made tomato spread, and sliced cheese. They're going to come out. So this was the first thing.
Yep.
How did you like this?
It was fantastic. I mean, the tomatoes are so fresh and just, I feel like they just literally picked them off outside a vine and made this tomato. It's so good. The cheese was fantastic. The bread is just perfectly crisp. I mean, there's 4 pieces.
Yes.
We each had 2.
Yeah.
I was very happy to have this.
Yes. And here's where you'll start to hear, because we'll tell you how much was involved in each of these dishes. This was 4 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Very shareable. I love this. This is a cold dish.
Yes, it is.
The only thing I think I would maybe change is I think it would have almost been nice if that manchego maybe got a touch of like a blowtorch, just to give it a little bit of a melt. But this is so good. It's like a savory tomato jam. It's not sweet,
right?
But it's just delicious. It's packed with so much flavor. It doesn't even need the manchego. As much as I liked it, it doesn't need it. Yeah. That's how good this is. The endives with the goat cheese, the oranges, and the almonds, I might rank as one of the most interesting bites I've ever had of any food.
Yeah.
And it took me finishing the second one to realize that this is amazing.
It was, I think, because of eating the tomatoes and the acidity and the oranges, of course, are a little acidity, but the way the whole endive together, the bite was so refreshing. The almonds were crunchy. The endive itself, is that what it's called? The piece of lettuce basically, was crunchy too. Of course, you've got soft goat cheese, and the orange was like a
marmalade.
No,
jam.
Not a marmalade, but a soft mandarin orange. That's soft. So then you got 2 crunchies, and then really refreshing. But I think after eating the tomato, it just was very taken aback. Like, we both ate it and we're like, I don't know how I feel. There was 4 of lettuce cups, I guess you could call them.
Yeah, so again,
of
4.
these. So we both took one put it on our plate that we didn't eat, that we were like, all right, let's just kind of save this, because it almost like to me was a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Like how when sushi comes and you're going between and you have the ginger. So I was like, let me just put it aside and try to palate cleanse. So we did. Moving on to the second, I'm trying to remember what I ended up eating and in between, but I did. I ended up like palate. Oh, I remember now. The next one was a little heavier and thicker of the food, and I was going to eat this next thing, and I ate this endive in between, and it was like refreshing and palate cleansing, and just that's when I was like, wow, this is really good.
It had so many different notes. Like, it had savory notes, it had sweet notes, it had creamy notes, it had crunchy notes, it had I didn't know you could pack so much complexity into one bite. And that's what this did. Like, all right, a tomato spread on bread with some cheese. Okay, I mean, that's pizza. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you're just taking this is something everybody's familiar with. Yeah. Everything else I feel like that we talk about, people will be familiar with. There's zero way to explain this dish to a person.
Yeah.
And you
just have to try it. It's really good. Yep.
Like, I really, really loved it, but it took me getting to the second one as well to understand that I loved it. Like, my brain couldn't keep up with the flavors that were going on.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Actually, it was possibly my favorite thing of the meal.
Oh, really? Not mine.
Not the one that I want to get again, but when you think about it.
Yeah. And
again, how complex it was and all the flavors that it packed into one tiny bite was absolutely amazing. So moving on to the next section, there is an Empredrat de Mongetes, traditional Catalina bean salad with tomatoes, onions, black olives, and cherry dressing. That just doesn't sound good to me. I bet it's delicious. A
bean salad? That's almost kind of like what we had
at the black-eyed pea.
Yeah.
And I bet that's what it's like. I bet it is refreshing salad with a sherry dressing. I bet it's packed with flavor. The textures are going to get me with the beans and the black olives and all, but I bet it's outstanding. They also have an espinacas a la Catalina, which is sauteed spinach, pine nuts, raisins, and apples. That's another, I think, pine nuts, raisins, and apples all together. I'll try it. That's going to pack flavor. Well, we went with, and this was actually on my snack list from Pepe, which is their quick service, and this is available there, is the potatoes bravas. This is a Jaleo favorite. This is fried potatoes with spicy tomato sauce and an aioli. And then we got the croquetas de pollo, which are well known here. These are traditional chicken fritters. Let's start with the patatas bravas, which you loved. I did too, but you really loved.
Well, then let's start with the croquettes.
The croquettes, the chicken croquettes?
Yeah.
These normally, so this is not coming in a traditional Jaleo way, by the way. If you've seen these, they come out on a regular lunch or dinner.
Yes.
Or might just be dinner. They come out on like a ceramic, it looks like a pillow.
Yeah.
And they're placed on this pillow. Yeah.
And we've had them before. And I'm sad that we got them because we had them before. And I remember when I started eating them that Jeremy, the last time, didn't love these because of the inside and the texture. They're very crispy and fried on the outside. The inside tastes like chicken pot pie. So it tastes like a little bit. So it's just, instead of like the dough being like a biscuit on the outside, it's a crispiness, and the inside it's chicken pot pie.
Yeah.
It's good. It just is weird.
Yeah.
And I, now having it for the second time, I actually was there four of these.
Yet again, there's four of these.
Four of these. I did not eat two of them. I just ate the one.
Yeah.
Because moving on to, do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, I do. I mean,
we'll move on.
I really enjoy the flavors. I don't like the way that it's put together. I mean, it really is. It's like a good chicken pot pie filling with the shredded chicken, the kind of like gravy. It's basically like they took a stew, they froze it, breaded it, fried it. And so it's just a weird it's weird going from that super crunchy outside into a stew-like interior.
Mm-hmm.
But the flavors are all there and they're good.
It's
I
not
think
bad.
from just a textural standpoint, it would be much better. I'm also not Jose Andres, so this is why it's not this way. If it was small chunks of chicken and the veggies, and maybe you even had more of a dipping sauce that kind of had that, gravy flavor and style. I do think they're good. I would not choose to get them again simply based on the texture of them.
Yeah.
Now, the potatoes bravas were very
Oh,
good. You
this-
liked these
this was my
much more than I
favorite.
did.
This was my favorite.
Yeah.
I
Well, let
would
me
love.
start.
Okay.
I'll start on this one.
Okay.
These are perfectly fried, home fried potatoes that you would, get at your local diner with your breakfast,
Yes, they are.
right? That's
Yep.
the potato portion. Crispy on the outside, soft, tender on the inside, fluffy, potato-y, perfection. Perfectly fried bite of potato, about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch cubed. Then they come with this spicy tomato sauce and aioli. Now, the spicy tomato sauce does have a little bit of a kick, nothing too overpowering.
Correct.
It's very, very good. The aioli is a straight up house-made aioli. I don't believe it had any additional flavor to it. Like, it wasn't like an herbed aioli or lemon or anything like that. And I thought that the aioli worked well to balance out the acidity and the spiciness of the tomato sauce. This does suffer from getting the potatoes soggy the longer it sits.
Yes, it does.
And when you go to eat it, this is a
But it's
giant
so good.
shareable plate.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was enough on this plate that if you just had like a side of a protein, this is a full meal.
Oh yeah.
Just say you had a 6-ounce chicken breast grilled on the side
Oh.
or a piece of steak, and this was still much larger than a side portion.
Yes,
This
it was.
to me wasn't even a tapas portion. It was huge.
It was.
I did really enjoy it. I wouldn't order it again.
Oh
It
really?
was a one and done for me,
Oh.
even though I liked it, just because there are other items I would try.
Oh my goodness.
I know you absolutely love this. And
I
you,
loved it.
You kept stopping eating it and then going back for more.
It
'cause
was
you
so
loved it
good.
so much. Yeah.
And the potatoes were perfectly golden brown. Like they weren't burnt. They weren't too fried. They were beautiful. And I just loved the entire thing. Even when they were getting quote unquote a little soggy.
Yeah, they're still good.
Oh, the aioli, the tomato sauce, the whole thing. I would totally get this as a snack and just eat it.
Yeah.
Because it was fantastic.
Well, we'll have to look at it, getting it at Pepe
Yeah.
and see what the size is and how it's presented, because that would be my fear too. This is kind of if you sit there and eat it,
Yeah.
you're probably going to be good. But if you get this as a to-go and you think, I'm going to grab these because I love them. And yeah, we're staying at Saratoga. We're a short boat ride away. Not right now. We don't know. We have not had rain in a long time. So I think it was the day we checked out, they stopped running the boats, all boats,
Yeah.
because the water level was too low.
Well, first of all,
We
when
could see
we
it
checked
when- yeah.
in, they said that the water level was low. And if you asking in our party if unfortunately, if we had an ECV,
Yeah.
praise God, we didn't. But if we did, we could not take the boat at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the
water level
it
was
was,
low.
you had a 6-inch drop.
Yep.
From the dock onto the boat, and they have ramps and all, but that wasn't even going to cover it. So, but yeah, I wouldn't get this to go
Mm-hmm.
and eat it later. It's
Right.
going to be soggy and on. It'd be tough to reheat.
And
Unless you can get it to go and say, can I get the sauces on the side? And I'll just go home and like reheat the potatoes in an oven or an air
yeah,
fryer.
that's true.
And then,
Maybe.
And then do it maybe. But,
Maybe.
let's move on to our third course. So they have a Butafara Casera con Mongetes, which is a Jasper grilled pork sausage served with sauteed white beans. I think sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They have a tortilla de patatas, which is traditional potato and onion Spanish omelet. I think that sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They have a pollo a la brasa con pisto, which you have to add $3. Charcoal grilled Bell & Evans chicken thigh with vegetable stew and mojo verde.
Mm.
Also sounds good. This was a
Mhm.
tough pick. We went with the gambas al ajillo, which is the very, very famous tapa of shrimp sauteed with garlic. We've had something very similar at Dahlia Lounge.
Yes.
And so we kind of wanted to compare it. We also wanted to add a seafood element was, as we were talking about earlier.
Correct.
Then this was recommended by John Self of Main Street Foodie. This is the Bikini de Jamon en Queso. You know I love a bocadillo sandwich, like they have up at Dahlia. And this is going to be similar to that, which is a pressed sandwich of Serrano ham, jamon dulce, and manchego cheese. Let's start with the shrimp sauteed with garlic.
Holy
which came with
moly.
a little of some baguette, some sliced baguette. Very fresh.
Oh my gosh. So first of all, this shrimp was in some oil, and I just took that not so little shrimp that covered the entire baguette.
Yeah.
And put some one shrimp on my baguette, poured some olive oil on top of that, got a little bit of the garlic, and ate this, and holy moly, this was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I would get this
it.
again. I would probably drink the oil. No, I mean, seriously, it was amazing.
Yeah. This is so good. Shrimp are good size.
Yeah.
They're a good portion. I think there were 6 maybe total in there.
There might have been.
And the garlic is thin sliced garlic cloves that have either been lightly pan fried, or they may have been like a garlic confit.
They were almost a little chewy, which was so
They were
fun.
both chewy, but with a little bit of crunch and
so good.
browning to them. With the bread, without the bread, you wanted, even if you were just eating the shrimp, you wanted to scoop up as much oil and as much of this garlic as you could.
And
the only downfall is this is so rich with that oil and garlic, you can't eat a ton of it.
Well,
which is good. Like, you're not going
funny,
to sit here and eat just a bowl full of this like a serving. It's the perfect tapas.
Well, what's funny is I was going to say, though, this oil is so clean.
Yeah, it is.
And not heavy to me. I could have dipped everything in it. Like,
Really?
I literally dipped the sandwich in it. Like, I think, were you dipping the sandwich in it? Like, I was dipping the sandwich in it. Like, it was fantastic, and it didn't make me feel bad at all.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a perfect dish.
Yeah.
It's a perfect tapas. It really is. I love it. I would get this again and again. The sandwich, like, I love the idea of a Cuban sandwich. I love paninis.
Yes,
right?
you do.
There's something about a Cuban. It's that bread. It's that combination of the ham and the cheese. It's the way that it's pressed so flat. I don't like pickles and I don't like mustard. I mean, we go to our local restaurant that we love, and I've gotten a Cuban without pickles and mustard. And it's amazing. And so this is very similar to that with the ham. We've got the manchego cheese, that jamon dulce in there. Now, this actually was probably a 8-inch sandwich that was cut into thirds. This is the only thing that we didn't get an even, just say 4 to 6 of, like everything else.
Which was fine, because
was fine.
I was full at this point.
I ate 2 of them.
And I gave Jeremy the sandwiches.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It
was really
perfection.
good. It was really good.
If somebody said right now, like, hey, you guys are going to go to Jaleo for lunch tomorrow, even though we didn't have 3 of those other items, which all sound very good, I'd be so hard pressed not to get the
sandwich.
pressed sandwich again.
Yeah.
That's how good it is. I love it. And the size that I had was a good lunch portion. Now, we had all this other food, so I had to kind of, because this was one too where, knowing what the rest of our weekend looked like, this was not a trip where we wanted leftovers.
Correct.
Because, and I can tell you, because there are some sitting in our fridge right now, I don't know if we'll get to, but we said, this is going to be such a jam-packed, we have all these plans, we have different things going on. We'd already eaten so much, it was just like, I don't want to take leftovers home, so I'll just take one for the team and I'll eat as much as I can. And we did. We almost cleaned all of the plates. I think the only thing left was some of the potatoes.
Yes, because they asked.
And I can't remember if I ate the third chicken croquette or not.
I think you did.
I think I might have in the end, because I just didn't want to see it go to waste.
I think you did.
It was one of those kind of
I can't remember
meals and trips.
Because I specifically remember the potatoes, because they went to go take them away, and I was so full at this point that I was like, they were so good, I didn't want them to take away.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't want to be sick, so please take them away.
Yep. So I loved this. We still had dessert left.
We did.
Which was fine. There's two things they have, and of course we were going to get both.
Yep.
So there is a flan, which is a classic Spanish custard with espuma of Catalan cream and oranges, and then they have a helado y sorbet, which is either you get a choice of house-made ice cream or sorbet. We said the ice cream, which would be a vanilla ice cream, house-made. They were out, but they had a leche. No, I'm sorry. They had a brioche ice cream.
Yeah, which was,
that we got instead.
Mm-hmm.
That was fabulous.
Oh, it was fantastic.
It was really good. It was a scoop of ice cream.
Real light on the brioche, though. But it was fantastic.
I loved it. It was super refreshing. It was good. This flan.
So, flan is so funny because I don't know
Such an interesting texture.
Well, and I don't know if anybody ever played Cooking Mama. Mm-hmm. Cooking Mama. What was on the Wii?
Nintendo Wii. They have a I'm not going to even tell you that there's an iPhone version. I'll never see you again. Between Cooking Mama and Magic Kingdoms, I would lose my wife.
Oh,
She'd be gone. I would never.
Anyways,
hear
I used to play on the Wii, and flan, I remember, and I was like, "What is this?" And it's like eggs and like it like Jaleo, and it like wiggles and. And so with all that being said, I was like, I've never really had flan, and I guess the ingredients made me kind of like, I don't know if I want flan. Mm-hmm. So I was excited to get it, and holy moly, I want to eat flan all the time now. If it's made like this, it was fantastic. It was creamy. It was so good.
Yeah. I loved the flavor with the orange and all. Like orange and citrus, maybe outside of like a lemon, I never used to enjoy for dessert. You know what I mean? Like I never really enjoyed orange flavors for dessert, and I do now because we've had some recently.
Yeah.
Right? Within like these sauces and some of those light notes and that citrus flavor. It's super refreshing. If you're going to finish off a 3-course meal of tapas that we did, and again, if you go back, we could have split this. You know, we could have split and each had 2 of the endives, right? With the stuff in it. We could have split and easily split those potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
We could have gotten the sandwich, and even if I still had 2 of the pieces and you had 1, and then split a dessert, that would have been plenty of food. If we didn't think it was, we would have done one little add-on
100%
on the side, right? So, and I will say, if you add up all of the items, because all these items are available on their standard menu, most of them ranging between like $10 and $14, you are coming out on top here. Yes. You're not going to lose money.
Yep.
You know, sometimes you have to look at prefix menus and you got to go, all right, am I really saving, or are they charging extra for the simplicity of a prefix menu? Right.
Right.
We'll talk about California Grill next episode. You're saving money here if you're going to get use out of and eat all the food the way we did.
Yep.
Next time, I think most likely we would split it.
Yep.
And then we would get a little something extra, you know, 1 or 2 things, and we'd still come out under $70. I mean, again, all in with tip, this was around $100 for a 4-course meal for each of us.
Yep.
A 0-proof handcrafted mocktail, plus a good tip. No savings at all on pass holder or whatever because of the rapid lunch. This is a really good deal. Like, this is a great deal on property. And if you want to try tapas, you want to try Spanish cuisine, you want to check out what Jaleo is about, this is definitely the way to go.
Yes,
like,
I agree.
You know, it's easy for us to say, can't wait to go back. We know we won't in a long time because there's plenty of other things to try.
Right.
But I can see this being one of those where we don't necessarily have plans, or we're kind of just at Disney Springs and we're hungry. And maybe it is a Monday through Thursday and it's like 2:00. And we're like, let's just see if Jaleo is available.
Yeah.
Like, let's go in. Let's just grab it. It'll be a last minute type thing. I loved it. All right, let's move on to the tree houses. We checked into the Treehouse Villas for our first time ever, staying in them, seeing them in person at Saratoga Springs. Let's talk a little bit about the Treehouse Villa.
Yeah. So if you go back to episode 82, 83, and 557, that's way back. We stayed at Saratoga, not at the Treehouse Villas. This is the first time ever. So it was really neat. Well, let me go ahead and read off the normal. So it's views of the woods. It's really cool. There are 2 queen beds and a queen size sleeper sofa and 1 bunk bed and 1 twin size sleeper chair. This is 1,074 square foot. It sleeps up to 9 adults, and it can range anywhere from $1,043 up to almost $2,000 a night.
Yeah, and that's rack
and
rate.
That's
of
rack
course.
rate, and that's cash rooms.
Yes, cash rooms. This is DVC.
This is DVC
as well. So you know, if you're DVC or you want to rent DVC points, you can look at that. This is a 3-bedroom.
Yes, it is.
So when you walk in, first of all, when you drive in, so you go and you check in at the main
I started to say, let's
carriage
go back
house, right?
to check in.
Yes. So you go check in at the carriage house, and they are going to direct you around to the tree houses. You're going to leave the main entrance of Saratoga, and you go into a private entrance where the tree houses are. That is gated and is going to be Magic Band accessible, right? So you're going to have to be able to go check in first. Now, have we ever figured out about Magic Bands at the gate and online check-in, and if your room's ready, you still have to go to that security to basically activate the band in order to get through the gates, is what I feel like we've come to the conclusion of.
From
or it's just hit or miss.
From what I understand, in a normal situation of like, you know, if you do All-Star, you have to go to your room first, and then you can go through that gate with the Magic Band.
Right.
So I don't know how it would have worked because Steve did do online check-in.
Right. And the room was ready, but it was not ready online. It was ready when we went in person because we were the first 2 to arrive.
Yes.
They gave us the room. But anyway, all that being said, we go around. As soon as you get to this gate, if somebody dropped you off at this gate and you know Disney well enough, you would immediately think you were entering Fort Wilderness.
Yeah.
It's very wooded.
Yep.
The signage looks very familiar.
Mm-hmm.
The loop, the way that it's looped, and the one-way loops that go around are just like going through the loops at Fort Wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you look into the distance of these little short walkways, because there aren't driveways, it's not like the cabins where you're parking on your site, I'll just call it. There's actually parking spots. So there might be 2 to 4 parking spots that are for as the cabins go. Some of the areas you might walk into a walkway, there could be 2 or 3 cabins situated along that walkway, or villas, I'll call them.
Right.
Is what they call them.
Yeah, Treehouse Villas.
So as you park and then you walk up, you're greeted with a charcoal grill, like at the campsites, and then stairs. So this is on a second story. These are basically like on stilts with a big center kind of pole almost.
Yep.
And you walk up these wooden stairways to a giant wooden deck.
Yes.
With a table and chairs.
4 chairs.
4 chairs and a table, like a dining table.
And then other like a couple seating.
Yeah, a couple of little seats sitting around, but it's a very large deck. You can easily entertain your up to 9 people that this sleeps.
Yep.
And then as you go in, you're going to be greeted with very big open dining, living, and kitchen area.
Yes.
Full kitchen.
Yep.
Slightly older appliances, and this whole place is dated. But it works.
Yeah.
It works with the theming. It works with the wooden exterior. It works with being in the woods. It feels like a cabin.
Yes, it does.
And the only thing to me that felt slightly more outdated was the carpet and the older appliances. They're all just standard old full black appliances. You'd expect now to see like stainless steel maybe.
Yeah.
So I think that could use an upgrade, and you could go ahead and swap out any of the carpet area probably for vinyl flooring the way that they've done. Maybe a little bit of soft good refurbishment because some of the curtains and all are definitely dated. It's a very bland, but it works.
But I mean, you're in the woods, so it was browns and tans and greens, and I mean, very wood-like.
Yeah. But you have a large dining table right there.
Yep.
You have a bar area, like a breakfast bar area that goes into the kitchen with bar stools. Built into kind of the bar stool area in the breakfast bar area is the TV, much like they have at Old Key West.
Yes.
In the 1 bedrooms and ups.
Yep.
And then you have a couch, which will pull out into a bed.
A queen bed.
Queen bed. You have a single chair that will pull out into a single bed.
Yep.
And you have an additional chair just for sitting.
Yep.
Coffee table, all that good stuff. If you stay to the right, you're going to go into the first bedroom, which has the bunk beds and a TV.
Yep.
And these are single mattresses, or twin mattresses, I guess, bunk beds.
Yep.
Beyond that,
in the bunk bedroom, in the closet was like a crib as well.
Oh, really? I did not see that.
Like you could pull out
like a porta crib.
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice. Okay. So 9 and a baby, right? Of course, under 3, they're not included in that count that way. To the left is going to be laundry, right? Stackable laundry. And then to the right is the other bedroom, the second bedroom, which is going to include the queen bed, closet. You're going to get side tables and a TV and dresser. Straight ahead then is the full bathroom, because this is 2 full baths. And that's going to include a shower tub combo, sink, toilet. Even the fixtures, I really liked. The fixtures and the faucets look like the
they just look
water pumps.
Yeah, but they look dirty. Like that's the only thing.
Well, they were brass. They were like aged brass. I don't think they were dirty.
Okay.
They had an antique look.
But it okay.
Yeah.
Like the inside with the water came out.
Oh, just probably build up and residue and stuff, but perfect size bathroom.
I think of Junior.
The shower head was about as useful though as
my gosh,
someone just spitting on you. That was my only real complaint.
That was awful.
And maybe that was just our shower head in that bathroom. I don't know if everyone, the pressure was awful and it just kind of drizzled out. So that part was a little tough. But if you come back around on the other side, you go into the master bedroom.
Right.
Which is a very large room with another queen bed. And it has a work desk. It's got a dresser. It's got the TV, nightstands, all that good stuff. Plenty of space. And then you go into what potentially is the most unique bathroom I've ever seen in my entire life. Why?
Well, you have a lot of people call it a water closet, I think.
Who calls
toilet?
It that?
I don't know, a toilet room. But it was a
People
large.
call that a water closet.
I think I've heard that.
Okay.
I think so. But anyways, then you have, and it was a bigger size. And then you have 2 sinks and mirrors, and then you have a glass shower that has not only a shower and then even a seat that you could sit and like shave your legs or whatever. It has an entire whirlpool bathtub inside the glass shower room, I guess.
This was so interesting.
And then there's a window inside the shower that like had frosted like it was a tree.
Yeah. It was so, I mean, you could have somebody, because it's not a shower tub combo, like you could have somebody, you could be sitting in the tub taking a bath, or I could be sitting in the tub taking a bath while Rhonda is showering next to the tub, but all within the same space.
Super weird. I wonder if you would have been I wonder if you'd have been wet. Like if I don't know.
I feel like you would be getting splashed upon if you're sitting in the tub by a person who is showering. I mean, this, I don't understand the use of it.
I don't either. It's super weird and funny.
Except for it's the only way you can set it up. You can't have the tub on the other side because you couldn't get to the shower. So it was so interesting, but it was super cool.
Yeah.
I also want to know, I looked at, you're right, it is called a water closet. Where did you hear that? How much DIY network have you been watching? How many houses are you watching being flipped on a regular basis? Or house hunters? I've never heard that. It always contains a toilet and sometimes an additional sink is a water closet. That's interesting. Why? We always call it toilet room.
Yeah.
So we have a water closet in our house. That makes me feel fancy. I'm going to tell people, we have 3 baths, but we do have a water closet. So whatever you think happens in there, you would be wrong. Because a water closet would.
What would you think of a water closet would be?
A shower. You open a door. You walk into a designated area, and then water rains upon you from the ceiling. So, to me, that's a water closet. At least it should be called a toilet closet. But that's probably not an easy upsell for people. Yeah. So, I thought this whole thing was cool. It's unique. It's an octagon shape.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting, but you don't feel that from the inside. Like when you are in the outside, you look at it, you go, that's an octagon. When you're inside, you don't get that feeling. You know what I mean? Like it feels like just a nice open area. It has nice tall, like vaulted ceilings.
Yeah, it does.
I liked it. I thought it was great. For our scenario, it was a little tough. Poor Chuck and Amy slept in the bunk beds, which was super sweet of them. Because Ron and I were going to sleep on the couch. We were going to sleep on the pull-out couch bed, and we're going to let them have the queen bed in the second bedroom.
Right.
And then the bunk bed room was just not going to go to use.
Right.
Really. So think of your scenario with that. Even, right now, let's just say we said, oh, this is perfect. Let's take the kids.
You know what they should make? Okay. Like, you know how they're taking all the pull-out couches and they have a couch.
Murphy beds.
And they fold out to Murphy beds.
Yeah.
They should make bunk beds where you can push or do a lever where it comes down to a full size. And if you need the space and need it to come up, it does bunk beds.
That's what Emmett pretty much invented in the Lego movie. Remember? He turned the couch into a bunk bed. So it is very similar, but that would be interesting.
That would be, because again, like you started to throw out and say.
So the two bunks, all right, no, you can't see this if you're listening, but the two bunks that are like this, if there was a way that they could go like this and create one bed, that would be actually super duper genius.
That would be just the most amazing thing ever.
That would be really cool.
Because again, like these are going to be the cabins, by the way. They're going to have the brand new DVC cabins at Fort Wilderness.
These belong at Fort Wilderness. I don't care what anyone says. These belong at Fort Wilderness.
I agree.
What they're putting in at Fort Wilderness, and you don't even know the latest that's going on with Fort Wilderness. I'll share with you after this episode. I'm still trying to figure it all out. They're basically replacing what they had with something that doesn't have as good of a floor plan.
Right.
But they need to make them new so that they can justify selling them as DVC. And I think they're going to be great. I think the cabins are going to be wonderful. They couldn't just say, here's decades old cabins. By the way, we're going to sell them as DVC now. They can't do that.
Yeah.
Right? So they had to replace them.
But then why did they do the same floor plan? Because see, this is where...
It's not even the same floor plan. It's a modified floor plan where the bathroom is on the complete opposite side of the bedroom area. And it's still only one bath. And you're still getting a bed, and you're getting bunk beds and a pull-out couch. Well, if you took these and built these exactly,
not even a Murphy bed.
No, it is. It's a Murphy bed.
Okay,
it's the Murphy bed couch.
Okay.
If you took these and put these in Fort Wilderness and sold them as 3-bedroom DVC, I feel like it would be much, much needed.
Yeah,
they don't belong here at Saratoga.
No,
as much as I love them, it's weird.
But going back to our family, if we would have had the girls come with us, I mean, sure, they could have slept in the bunk beds, being almost 14 and 16.
But they're each bringing a friend, so now we're looking at 6.
But I'm just saying, no. I mean, I'm saying like if they would have come with us and been in the bunk beds, but I mean, but then just think like if again we were out on the pull-out couch and then there was another adult couple with us. I mean, just think if those bunk beds could fold into a full-size bed.
Right. No, I agree. And this, this layout is perfect for the layout that we used to do when we used to travel. Just say we went with your parents.
Yep.
The cabin wasn't great.
No.
When we went with your parents, because we gave your parents the regular bed.
Right.
The girls slept in the bunk beds.
Right.
And then we slept on the pull-out couch in the cabins at Fort Wilderness. This would have been nice. Your parents could have had the master. We could have slept in the second queen. The girls still could, mess with the bunk bed. Like, It would work for that. You just have to look at the scenarios on how many adults you have, because most of the time those bunk beds are not going to work. Chuck and Amy somehow made them work.
Yes.
And I think they slept in them for 3 nights, just thinking about sleeping in the poly for the 2 nights following, most likely. But we will move on, because that evening, Thursday, we were going to do kind of a kickoff to Main Street 16 challenge weekend. It was a way to get to meet some new folks, hang out with some old folks and old friends that we've had, hand out some of the race packets for teams that were participating. So we met up at the front porch at House of Blues over at Disney Springs. This is going to have live music out there nightly. This is only open from 4 to 10 p.m. They do have food that is barbecue food. So like barbecued pulled pork sandwiches, salads. I think they have like a jambalaya that Chuck ended up getting. So they do have some food available there. We were pretty much going to hang out, meet some folks. So Rhonda and I didn't get anything. But on the way there, we stopped at Summer House because you had to have what?
Oh, I had to have their tropical dreams. Yeah. So if you go back to episode 629 and 648, we talked all about Summer House. But they have 3 bars there and their third one was open. So I went to get, and you can walk up and get it to go.
Yeah.
This is Sunny Vodka, Lime, and Habanero Honey for $14. I got that. Jeremy had been wanting to try the wait list, which this is what Amy got the one time we all went together too. This is $9. This is sparkling rose lemonade and elderflower with lemon. And it was very good.
It's good. It's refreshing.
Yep.
Yeah, you love
I love my tropical
dreams, and we're gonna try. I'm gonna try and recreate it at home for you if I can.
Because we did get some local hot honey.
But yeah, the wait list is good. It's good.
Good.
You know, and this falls much more what I would say under a non-alcoholic beverage as opposed to a 0 proof mocktail. But it's good. It's refreshing. You know, $9 isn't horrible.
No.
And it's great to get these to go. And then we went in over to
we did, but also they had a whole bunch of new cookies, which we did not unfortunately get any cookies for us, but Amy was super excited because they, unlike Gideon's, have actual gluten-free cookies, and they had a gluten-free brownie. The gluten-free cookie was really good because it was crispy, but it reminded me of like the Tate's cookie, which is really good.
Yeah.
But this gluten-free brownie, if you're gluten-free, oh my goodness, you've got to go to Summer House and get this brownie.
Go get it.
Oh my gosh, it was so good.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. It was almost like, if y'all remember the Little Debbie's of the brownie in that plastic, like little, and it's so fudgy and so...
Like the cosmic brownies.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
I had one of those in a
This
long
is
time.
so good. So yes, if you're gluten-free, if you're not gluten-free, if, you know, you just want to try it, I try everything that Amy gets that's gluten-free usually, that because I want to be able to talk about it, and this was fantastic.
That's great.
So.
Yeah, they did have some new cookies I wanted to check out.
They had almost like a dreamsicle one that I was like,
and we can see what they've got when we're back in a couple of weeks, because I still think we want to make it to Disney Springs with whatever children are coming with us now. It's a whole other thing we got to discuss this evening. But the drone show at Disney Springs starts the night before we go.
Okay.
So I really want to make it over there, even though we wanted to do like an evening staycation at Coronado. I wouldn't mind making it over there, maybe grabbing a couple cookies, watching the drone show, and then making it back to Coronado and, you know, closing down the pool or something. I don't know what time the show will be. So yeah, we did that. We hung out at House of Blues. We had a lot of wonderful friends that came out. Jessica and Landon from Vacation Grocery Delivery came out. So it was super good to see them. It had been a while. We got to catch up with them. And I know they were very hungry.
They were.
So we had a group and we were trying to decide where could we go. Because at this point, as we were breaking away from some other folks, because we had a lot of people there, I think we were a group of 9. And it's like, all right, where are we going to go? Let's go check out Boathouse. Right? You went in, you and Jess went into,
and Amy.
You and Jesse went in, right?
Oh my Lord.
and Amy to check out Boathouse. Yes. How was that looking?
Not good.
Yeah, not good.
We had to leave.
You remember what time this was at this point? It was like 9 o'clock probably, right? Because we met at House of Blues at 6.
Yeah, it was starting to get late.
Probably closer to 9. So a group of 9, it is a Thursday night, but still, your chances of finding somewhere to sit are limited. So Boathouse was not going to work. So we started figuring out where else to go, and we ended up at Raglan Road.
We did, but first we were going to try Homecoming.
We stopped by. We were on the way to Homecoming, and we stopped by Raglan Road. So they were able to seat us.
They were.
And it was very cramped, and then they were nice enough to move us to a nice open space near the stage. So very, very accommodating. That part was great. You and I didn't get anything to eat. Did you get anything to drink?
I did. I got the Passionate Martini for $17. It is vanilla infused monkey Irish vodka, passion fruit liqueur, fresh lime Fees foam and a side of Prosecco.
That's right.
So it was, first of all, in a beautiful glass. It was like etched and it was really pretty. And then the side of Prosecco came out with it on its side, literally. And I tasted it and it was very heavy on the fruit side. And then I went ahead and just poured, I didn't know what to do. I just poured the Prosecco all into it. And then it balanced it out really nicely and it was really good.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it. So I just had that one and just sipped on it and yeah.
Yeah.
You did order fries.
I did order fries. Yeah. So okay. So here's the thing with the fries. They were fries. I was expecting to get chips, as in fries. I was expecting the chips that would come with their fish and chips.
Okay.
The much thicker cut, like, you know, in America we'd almost call them more like a steak fry.
Okay.
And they were just standard like fries. They were fine. I did get the berry un-Irish for $11. That was on their non-alcoholic drink menu. This was muddled blueberries, fresh lemon juice, rosemary, honey syrup, sparkling lemon, Pellegrino. This was good. That's the other thing I'll say. I know I was talking about kind of that difference between non-alcoholic beverages compared to like zero proof or mocktails. A lot of the non-alcoholic beverages are very juice heavy or sweet heavy, and I find them overly sweet. Even some of their lemonades. What I like about a lot of these like non-alcoholic specific mocktails and zero proof is that they're not just relying on what's already there. They're kind of making up something new.
Yeah.
So you got the blueberries and the lemon juice, rosemary, you know, the sparkling lemon on top. Like it just worked well without being overly sweet. And a lot of those other ones, like I just can't finish. Like a whole lemonade, even their Minute Maid premium lemonades, when they had the 50th and you dropped that thing in it that like, disintegrated, made it all sparkling. It was just too much. And it was so sugary and so like either fruit or sweet heavy that I never really cared for them. But we closed down our night at Raglan Road in Disney Springs. We headed back to get some rest because we did have a big day on Friday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. So Friday, one of the things that we had an idea to do was a live stream to try and push and get some additional donations and raise more money for Give Kids the World. So after a very long process of figuring some things out, I was able to set up our equipment to live stream from the Treehouse. Yep. They do not make it easy if you want to plug your own device into the TV. Even though it seems like it should be, they really lock these down a lot.
Oh, wow.
It's just, I really had to do some figuring out on how to get it to work because I wanted to mirror my laptop on the TV because it was going to be easier for us to do the live stream and see our guests that were coming in. Right. And, read comments and stuff like that. But thank you to everyone that tuned into the live stream. Thank you, Greg Gately. Thank you, John Self, for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Coming from Epcot, they did separately. And that was really great. So after that, we had our trivia event that night at 6 p.m. at Malia in the backyard, their little outdoor kind of bar area by the pool. And I when we were done the live stream, I was like, I want to go to the pool. Like, we got time. We don't have to get over there till 5. It's not very far from here. Let's go down to the pool. So you and I went down and spent a good hour or so, I think, at the pool there at the High Rock Spring Pool. How do you like this as the main feature pool for Saratoga Springs?
I like it a lot. We've been before. I really enjoy it.
I had never been. I think we'd always done the paddock. I believe that there was one time that we stayed at Saratoga for a night that you came down with the girls, and I think I was flying in from somewhere. And you came and picked me up, and you guys got there earlier, and I believe you went to the pool. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think you went to this pool.
How did you never go?
Because any other time, we went to the paddock pool, which is a great pool as well. Saratoga Springs, I feel like has every pool is almost like a feature pool. Yeah. In a lot of ways. Like the paddock pool is great. There was actually a quiet pool with hot tub near the Treehouse Villa within that section. Now that was much more like a side, quiet, adults only style pool. Right. But I mean, in most places, the paddock pool has a slide as well.
Okay. Yeah.
But here at the High Rock Spring Pool, You have a 0 depth entry. You got a 128-foot long water slide that goes through rockwork. You've got 2 whirlpool spas. So it really is a great pool.
Yeah.
But we had to figure out some lunch. So
We did.
what did we decide to do? And I like this option at deluxe resorts where they'll either have wait staff actually come around,
Yep.
or you can go up in order.
Yes, and we did. We went to the On the Rocks pool bar. This is open from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And they had some food. They did have some drinks, and they got a cucumber and mint mojito, which instead of rum is vodka. That's why it's, I think, starts with a V instead of mojito. For $16, and I just thought that sounded really nice and refreshing by the pool, and that's what I got. And I had no idea that Jeremy got it before.
Yeah, at
And you
Hurricane
did-
Hannah's at Yacht and Beach Club.
And you
I
didn't
know
like
they have
it,
it there.
right?
I didn't. Yeah, but remember, I'm not big on cucumber in my drinks.
I thought it was really great and refreshing.
Yeah, but
So.
this is pretty standard at a lot of the deluxe pool bars.
I didn't know that
Yeah.
until I got it, but
But you never had it, so it was
I never
perfect
had
for
it.
you
It
to
was
get.
perfect, and it was great, and I enjoyed it. And then Jeremy got regular, just a pepperoni pizza for $10.79, which he loves that.
They're good, and they're not okay. When you get them, when you get ones like this is not your standard resort pizza.
Okay.
This feels like much more of a handmade pizza.
Well, that's
It's
good.
a thinner crust. It tastes, wood fired,
Nice.
or hot oven fired. Melty cheese, good sauce, pepperoni all over it. It is probably a 12 to 14 inch pizza, so semi-personal
Yeah.
pizza. I ate the whole thing because that was going to be one of our major meals really for the day, and it was the only meal at that point. It was the only meal I knew I was eating that day.
Yeah.
Just because of how busy we were going to be. So I enjoyed
Yes.
it. You opted for something very, very interesting.
Well, I opted for this because it said before the first 2 words, it said Euro, but I always like to try plant-based anytime. So this is a plant-based Euro. This is plant-based sausage, hummus, plant-based tzatziki, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, cucumbers, Kalamata olives, golden raisins, and a baked pita with house-made Saratoga chips. And it's plant-based for
Whew.
$10.99.
Call it the kitchen sink Euro.
So I was super excited about this. Until and what's not listed on here that also was in it is chickpeas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember what else there was. I know there was.
Yeah, because you had the golden raisins, which
yep.
was interesting.
So-
They're fried chickpeas, weren't they?
I don't know if they
And
were.
they were seasoned and they were cooked.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they might have been fried, seasoned, and fried.
Okay. Well, anyways, the point is once I took a bite, I had to stop unwrapping my head around the word Euro.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to think of just a really good Greek
Mhm.
with the hummus and the tzatziki and the olives, pita. Like
Yep.
a Greek, almost salady type in a pita.
Yeah.
And once I did that, because to me, a Euro would have been sausage, the plant-based sausage, the tzatziki, lettuce, tomato, onions, and that's it.
Yeah. Agreed.
So once I started eating it as a Greek like salad in a pita, it was fantastic. If I would have really been wanting that Euro, I would have been majorly disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is something that, again, you like a Euro, which is usually your lamb, but you don't eat it because you're, plant-based, then unfortunately this would not be for you. But if you love all this stuff, the hummus, the tzatziki, the golden raisins, the olives, the cucumbers, the chickpeas, all of that, it was actually good, filling, and fantastic.
Yeah, it had really good flavors.
So-
I just, like you said, it was one of those where the composition was interesting and the name. It shouldn't have been called that.
Should not.
This
have
would have been
called
served
that.
better being a Mediterranean salad
There you go.
and then having the pita on the side, whether it was just as is,
Right.
it was baked, or it was fried as like chips.
Yeah.
I think it would have been better served because also, this thing was full for how much was it? $10.99.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this thing was giant and it was stuffed.
Yeah, it was.
Like, so that's where I think too it would have
And I
been
was
better
full.
served as a salad as
Mhm.
opposed to trying to hammer all this into this pita.
Because it was falling out
Yeah,
too.
but the flavors and all work great.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, you're like, golden raisins. Why would you put that in there? And then you get a little bite of that sweetness. And you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty good.
But again, you just hit the nail on the head. Mediterranean salad.
Yes. Yeah. So from here, I'd looked at the activity sheet and schedule, and I tried to plan some stuff out that I wanted to make sure we hit, because a lot of resort activities, are not daily.
Correct.
So you could be there on certain days, and the one thing you want to do is not on those days.
Right.
Now, some things, it's like at Saratoga and many of the resorts, except for Thursday, and this was Friday now, from 2:30 to 3:30, every single day there by the pool outside of the hospitality house, the DVC area there, they do Mickey tie-dye.
Yay.
So you can get adult short sleeve shirts for $17.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a long sleeve for $20 plus tax. And this did take pass holder, correct? Do you remember?
No.
Okay. Or you forgot to ask, potentially?
I just started to say,
Okay.
if it
I can't remember
did,
if we asked.
we
didn't get
yeah.
it. Okay. They do have...
oh, wait. No, so she asked if we were DVC, and I said pass holder. So nothing must have come
came
off.
They do have youth sizes along with the adult sizes all the way up to 3XL. They have other items as well where you can get a toddler short sleeve for $12. You can do a pillowcase for $10. A onesie or up to 12 months old for $10. You can do a bandana for $8. You did the tie-dye.
I did.
You no longer have your tie-dye Mickey shirt that I believe
Yeah.
we did a long time ago at Port Orleans. I get to be next because I don't have one anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
I went to actually cut it and use it for my 80s actual
That's right.
outfit. And I thought I was sleeping in it because I got a larger size. And unfortunately, I found out that I must have gotten rid of it. I was a little sad, so I was like, I want to do another one. So I did. I probably should have done a long sleeve,
Yeah.
but I went ahead and just did a short sleeve again. Because I'll probably go ahead and cut the neck out and make it something cute. But
We have to
yeah,
unwrap
so it
it.
was we do, but we'll probably just worry about it because she said the longer it stays, the brighter the colors and everything like that. With all that being said, we're going on the cruise. I'm off today. I work the next 2 days long and full of hours, and then Sunday's my other day off that then we're going to record. We have to pack. We have to do all this stuff. Then I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Wednesday we leave.
Yep. No, these are great though, these tie-dyes. So you'll go inside, you'll pay.
Yep.
You come out, they'll get you all set up. They're going to hand you the shirt in your size, the white shirt or whatever it is in your size. It is all tied up and rubber banded and ready to go to put that silhouette Mickey head in the center of the shirt. They're going to have multiple colors. They're going to explain. They're going to have you put on some gloves. And they're just going to explain everything to you, how to use the colors. You don't want certain colors next to others. And you got to do, 3 sections the same because it makes that Mickey head. And yeah, you get to go there and do the tie-dye. And then they wrap it up tight in saran wrap. And then they put it in a bag with instructions on what to do when you get home and unpack
Well,
it.
and I just started to say, when they explain everything of what to do when they get home, she's basically like, you're on vacation. You're going to forget this. So there's instructions, and it was super cool because I looked in the bag and there's also gloves and instructions. So when we do go to finally unwrap it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and this is one, there's a lot of these types of activities that they'll do that you walk away with your item.
Yeah.
And while you walk away with this item, you're not going to be able to wear it on your trip. So if you think like, hey, we're going to be here for a couple days and whatever, and let's do a tie-dye shirt for little Susie because then she can wear it when we go to Magic Kingdom on Wednesday, it's not going to be ready for little Susie.
Yeah.
So don't tell little Susie that because she'll be upset. And then you'll just have to buy her something else. And now you've doubled your budget for little Susie. So just know that. But it really is a lot of fun. All right. I did snacks in the order that we had them.
okay.
So while we were doing the live stream and at the pool, our group headed to Epcot. Chuck and Amy and Steve and all, they headed out to Epcot because there was no reason just for them to sit around and watch us live stream. So
100%.
they went out and had some fun there. And Rhonda asked, because we did Kringla Cafe last time, and we finally did the school bread.
And John said it was National Pretzel Day.
It was National Pretzel Day on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So we had talked about the Norwegian Kringla that
Yep.
is there and that we wanted to try, and I put it on my list from Kringla Cafe. This is a pretzel-shaped pastry with assorted toppings. You can get almonds or chocolate. This is plant-based for $6.79.
Mm-hmm.
So Rhonda asked Amy if she would bring one back to us.
Yep, because I thought it was
we
a
got the chocolate.
pretzel.
I did too.
But
I don't think I read the
pretzel-shaped pastry. What'd you think?
It's good. It's fine.
Uh-huh.
It would be better warmed up.
Uh-huh.
This is what you go to. This is the flavor. You're not going to get this big pretzel shape, but this is the flavors that you're going to get when you go to a continental breakfast and they have a tray full of pastries. Something that tastes exactly like this is going to be on there.
Yeah.
It's a dense pastry. It's not super flaky or anything or light. It's dense and it's covered in chocolate.
Would you get it again?
No.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't either.
But again, if just say, I was visiting someone's house, or we're at a resort and with friends or something, or heck, on the cruise, if on the cruise, because we want to do room service and maybe have breakfast in the morning, something light before we go to the real breakfast. Like we're talking about doing each night, let's get the room service order. Let's get coffee in our room to enjoy on the veranda and maybe like some fruit or something. If they delivered this to your room, if you went to a friend's house and you stayed the night and you woke up and they had some stuff out in the morning and this pastry was there, you're going to eat them.
Yeah.
And they're going to be good.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go here. I'd get the school bread over this time and time again.
Yes, I agree.
I would like to get this potentially, take it back to a room with a microwave and give it just like a 10-second
We
zap.
had a microwave.
I know, but we didn't even zap it because
we
we're
just
all kind
ate
of
it.
tasting it and then
Yeah.
we just ate it, and we were literally too lazy to microwave. Like the microwave was invented for people that are too lazy to use the oven. Now they need to invent something. I guess we could have just set it out on the deck and that would have warmed it up.
I think an animal would have
Might
taken
have
it
eaten
away.
We did see squirrels, but I
Yes.
didn't see anything else lurking the way that you will at Fort Wilderness.
Yeah.
We see deer and turkeys and raccoons and rabbits and everything over there. All right. So we headed over to trivia night that we were doing, all for Give Kids the World, sponsored by our friends at Vacation Grocery Delivery, Mouse Dining, Main Street Magic Travel. Everything that we're talking about, if you want to do any of this, go to mainstmagictravel.com, fill out a form for a free quote. Those travel services are completely free to you. We had a wonderful trivia night.
Yes.
A huge thank you to Greg and to Michael for coming out and being some of our hosts along with us. Thank you to Greg for filling in some dead air as we made our way through our first real trivia night in this manner.
We did
'cause
good.
Last year we had Mark host it. You and I were hosting this year. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of people turn out. We had like a dozen teams, and the winners, Chris and his team, killed it.
Yeah.
Out of 50 possible points over 5 categories, they got 40 points. And what was great is Chris came up. He's a listener. He came up and talked to Rhonda and I afterwards. He actually was there last year for our trivia and placed like last.
Aw.
He did it solo last year, and then he found some of his Disney friends to join him, make the team before this year,
That's
and
awesome.
they came out in first place.
Nice.
So it was a lot of fun. We are looking at some ideas to maybe bring a trivia to life more than once a year at Main Street 16. We are working on some cool stuff we're going to announce here soon as well.
Okay.
Maybe this is a future part of those types of things. So after that, because we were with a lot of friends that we don't see all the time, and it's one of those times you're going, all right, we're at trivia. It's kind of like going to see a movie. You know what I mean? Like you get some time to socialize and interact,
Right.
but there's a game going on, so you don't get all the time you want. So like, all right, let's all go somewhere. Let's head somewhere and find out what we can, hang out a little bit longer with the group of us. I think again, it came down to 9 or 10 of us. I believe it was 10 of us. And we're talking about like 3 bridges because they were open till midnight. And then our cast member friend, Kim, who is with us,
Yes.
actually works at the Swan Reserve at Stir, which is one of their bars and lounges in their second floor up above the main check-in and lobby area.
Yep.
She was like, that's open late. we can go there. You know, there'll be space for us. We can lounge, sit back, relax. And so that's where we headed.
Yep.
We'd only, I believe, been in Swan Reserve once before. We went to, I think it's Tangerine that is up the pool bar.
Yep.
We sat out there, had some food and drink. So this is a great open space. And we got there right before the wedding was done. Because then that place filled up quick with everybody that after not only the ceremony and reception was ready to keep on going.
Right.
So that's where they came. But yeah, this was a great spot. I was hungry.
You were.
And some folks got some charcuterie that they enjoyed, some margarita pizzas that looked really good. Everybody enjoyed. Kim said that the Mediterranean dips for $14 were good.
Yep.
And we tried these. This is grilled pita bread served with red pepper muhammara dip, garlic toom yogurt dip, and a mint chermoula dip. It's like a bread service. This is kind of like, you know, going to Tiffin's or Nomad Lounge. Getting some bread service.
Yeah, and it was really good. I tasted some of it. I was not very hungry, so
I was starving because I ate nothing
I
at
just
Malia.
Drank some water and hung out.
Yeah, and I was like,
I didn't eat anything at Malia either, but
No.
I just was still.
Well, we were active the entire time too.
Full.
We didn't have time to do that.
No.
But yeah, I would have gotten the margarita pizza, but I'd already eaten a pepperoni pizza that day.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason that stopped me is because I did not want to be judged. It's like, how many pizzas did you eat
Why?
in one day?
You'd have been fine.
I ate 2. So instead, I went with the grilled Angus burger for $20. This is char-grilled Angus beef burger, a tomato jam, imported Greek feta cheese, lettuce, tomato, and onion on a toasted brioche bun. All these flavors were there. It was really missing that burger. Like,
I'm sorry.
For them to say a char-grilled Angus beef burger, I don't believe you.
Oh.
It was a real thin patty,
Mm.
and like you didn't taste the burger.
That's
I felt
sad.
like I was eating a Mediterranean sandwich, which would have technically been plant-based, and it was good. But I really got no flavor of burger or the meat or anything, and I really missed that because I think this could have been outstanding.
Yeah.
With like we went to lunch today. And they specialize in burgers, and neither one of us had one. I had a pizza, but I looked over at someone getting one, and you could just see that patty, and I was like, man, if that had been on this, that would have been super fantastic. Now, most likely, if I had said I just want cheese, meat, and bun, this probably would have been great.
Okay.
But
well, hopefully.
there were so many. I mean, you had a tomato jam, a Greek feta cheese, which was delicious.
Yeah.
The lettuce, the tomato, the onion, a big brioche bun. They just overpowered. That's all. But this looks like a legit spot to go hang out at late night and get some food and get some drink and whatever you want. Like, this would be a
She
really
also
good one.
made us get the 2 desserts.
That's right. And I don't have them in our notes because they weren't on the menus when I went to look at any of the menus. And then I just forgot about them because there was so much content and stuff going on. But as we'd sit there and talk to John Self, I mean, he was telling us how many discrepancies there are. And like, you know, I just went to look for it again real quick. There is the Walt Disney World website menu. And this is not just for Stir, but for a lot of these places, third party owned.
Right.
There's the Walt Disney World website menu.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is often, if it's at a hotel, sometimes there will be that hotel that it's included under that menu. Then depending on what party it's owned by, they might have their own. Like when you go to Disney Springs, right? And you look at Boathouse, for example, there is a Walt Disney World website that has a menu. Then there is a Walt Disney World Disney Springs website that has a menu.
Oh my goodness.
Those two are usually pretty close. Then there's a Boathouse website that has a menu. And they're often very different from each other. So that's why MainStreetFoodie.com is coming, that John's been working on, so that it will be the go-to spot to get like the legit menu because he's checking them every single week and updating them.
That's amazing.
Anyway, what was it? What were the desserts? Because I don't even have photographic evidence of them to remember them by.
So one was basically like a cheesecake.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one was, I swear, I think she said something like a flourless chocolate cake that Amy was able to eat because it was gluten-free.
They were both.
And they both were very good.
Silly good.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
The cheesecake was fantastic.
Yeah.
And It's so funny because we were talking about like which is better. And I mean, I hate to say it like this. I honestly was like, it depends on my mood.
Yeah.
If I had a heavy meat meal, I would want the cheesecake because it's light and it was refreshing and it was really good. Whereas if I had like a nice light salad, I would want the flourless chocolate cake because it was heavier, denser, and really good.
Yeah.
So
I mean, other than me not getting enough burger flavor, I had a heavy meal, and either one of these signed me up for again after it.
yeah,
I don't care if I ate an endive with goat cheese and almonds or whatever it was, or I ate a 48-ounce porterhouse steak. Either one of these.
Okay.
Either one of these would be a good follow
Well,
up.
as a lady,
Yeah, okay.
that's
These were
what I would
outstanding.
say. They were both
And this
good.
is a cool spot.
Yeah,
It's
it
got
was.
lounge areas. It's got a big wraparound bar area. It's got some tables. Like, this was really cool. You know,
Mhm.
this was perfect. And they'll validate your parking there.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that more because it shares a parking lot with Fantasia Gardens,
Yes.
the putt-putt course.
Yep.
But it's super nice because that parking was what, $36, I
Yep.
believe. And yeah, they will validate it there for each, person that's in your party that has a car or whatever. And so we got that.
That was awesome.
And parking was included, which was a big game changer. And it was super easy to get into there.
Yep.
It's not, you had a gate to originally get your parking ticket, and then you had one to scan your validation.
Mhm.
There's no guard desk. There's nothing. There are some tricks to getting into some resorts, of course.
Right.
But like, even if you go to Three Bridges, it could be hard to roll in 4 or 5 cars deep without a reservation because they don't
Right.
take them, and without staying at Coronado, if just say there was a giant, local convention going on in a sense where a lot of people had driven there, like they
Right.
could turn you away. And here you're not going to get that. So I thought it was a great late night stop.
Yes.
Are you ready for the third and final day of this episode and
Oh
our
my
first half of the
goodness.
trip, Saturday?
Woo-wee.
Saturday was Main Street 16 Challenge Day.
Yep.
All to benefit Give Kids the World Village there in Central Florida in Kissimmee. This is our third year that we've done this. It is a 16 ride challenge, 4 rides in each park that are randomly selected. And we had 9 teams, I believe, in the end that competed this year, which was the most we've ever had.
Yep.
We had all the teams going hard all day, finishing. We had one team specifically that were amazing. Heather and Aaron from Ginger Bombs that, they continued after. I mean, they knew that they were winners, and they kept going.
Mm-hmm.
And they finished all 16 rides.
Yep.
And it was absolutely incredible. So one of the things we did this year that was a little bit different is we had the overall winner who completes all 16 rides in the fastest time,
Right.
from the start time to when they complete everything. And then this year we also did park times. And part of that was, in the years past, 16 rides in a day is a lot in all
Yes,
4
it is.
parks. And in the years past, if you were finishing up your 3rd park, you were heading to your 4th, you're tired, you're worn out, and you find out that you can't win, it's understandable that you just go, all right, then you know what, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
we'll just, and you don't finish.
Right.
And I understand that. So we also wanted to have some prizes and some winners for who could finish each park the fastest.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you knew you weren't going to get the number 1 in all 16 rides, you could say, I could win Magic Kingdom by doing it the quickest or
Right.
whatever. So our winners in there for Magic Kingdom was Blake Davis, who came over from Tallahassee
Yeah.
and ran solo, which was
Super
awesome. Epcot was the Dapper Docs, which is Gary Fernando
Yeah.
and his team, who helped me put this whole thing on. At Hollywood Studios, we had Baby on Board the People Mover.
Mm-hmm.
So Clayton and Stephanie. And then Animal Kingdom was Dopey for Disney, our friends Jim and Connie.
Yes.
So they all completed those, each of the quickest for that specific park. For fun this year too, because we didn't do t-shirts, so we didn't have everybody matching. We did lanyards. We told teams if they wanted, they could Disney bound or dress up or do costumes as Disney permits. And in 3rd, we had the Ginger Bombs, who wore some awesome matching outfits.
Yeah. Super
Then in
cute.
2nd place, we had Baby on Board the People Mover,
Mm-hmm.
who were Figment and Remy.
Yeah,
Which
that
was
was
awesome
super
Disney
cute.
bounding and had to put some stuff together.
Yep.
And then number 1 was Little Reed Wagon, who Disney bounded as each of the mountains in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, Yeah, that
It
was
was
super cool.
good. Alan and his wife
Yep.
and their daughter, they are awesome. They do this little read wagon.
Mhm.
They actually travel the country and go to all these different events, collecting books and donating them.
And he's our
So-
weatherman.
Yes, he's our weatherman.
Yep.
Like literally.
Yeah.
He's a meteorologist. Like we have a Main Street Magic weatherman.
Yeah.
Who will give us weekly reports
Yeah.
that are real.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's all science. It's cool. But yeah, so they every year for this, they bring a bunch of books for the library at Give Kids the World Village, and then teams and people that are coming in can bring books to donate as well. Hit me up if you want to learn any more about them and get involved or anything. Then the actual 16 park challenge in third place, completing all 16 rides in all 4 parks in 9 hours and 23 minutes, was the Dapper Docs. That's Gary and his team.
Yep.
Number 2, 8 hours and 1 minute, was Mitch and his dad and the Mountaineers.
I know. I'm so happy for them.
So happy. Mitch,
Yeah.
this is
I
third
love
year
him.
racing.
Yep.
He had his dad with him this year.
Yep.
Last year he had his mom.
Yep.
She was there as well.
Yep.
And he brought his daughter this time. Love Mitch to death. He is
Yep.
such a good guy. We
Yep.
only see him once a year.
I know.
And we only get to hang out with him a little
Yeah.
bit. But he's just, he's such a good dude. And it was so cool to see him place because he has worked his butt off the past couple years.
I just heard it last
Yeah.
year. What he got
I think
fourth.
he got 4th by
I
like
was so
under
sad.
a minute.
I
or
was so
something.
sad.
Yeah.
I
And
wanted
then
him to.
in first place, super impressive, was Clayton and Stephanie, baby on board the People Mover, 7 hours and 44 minutes.
And she really is pregnant.
Yes.
Which we are super
Yes.
excited with a girl on the
Mhm.
way, named to be announced at birth.
Yes.
And she got to ride one ride in each park with him.
Yep.
But also ate something for baby girl in each park. And they literally, after they were done, rode the People Mover. So their name was True.
Yeah.
It was super, super cool. They are great, great people.
They are.
Love
They're
them.
such a sweet couple. We got to meet them. I think
On
the
the
first
cruise,
time. Well, no, we
right?
met them at Main Street Challenge, and then they happened to be on the cruise with us at
That was
Disney
super
Wish,
cool.
unplanned.
Yes.
And so we got to see them there because that was also the big touring plans.
Yep.
And that's what they were there for. And then we happened to be there as well. But yeah, just two of the nicest, kindest, sweetest people.
Yes.
And it was so cool to see them win.
Yes.
Don't believe that they will be able to participate next year with the newborn, but we're hoping they'll at least be back in 2 years. And then the 3 of them can race.
That'd be fun.
So very, very cool. Congratulations. This year we raised over $11,000.
Woohoo!
Which major thanks to all the teams on the last day, especially the Ginger Bombs, who on Saturday alone during their race brought in well over an extra, I think close to 1,500.
Yes.
And then Sunday morning before we went to the awards ceremony, we were a little bit short of $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I went out on social and I just said, look, about an hour and a half, we're going to stand on stage in front of all these teams and we're going to announce the winners and how much we raised. I want to tell them $10,000.
Yep.
And by the time it came around, I was telling them $11,000.
It was amazing.
And now we've almost hit 12.
Wow.
So there is still a donation link if you want to give one last push, one last hurrah. mainstreet16.com. We will, once we get back from our cruise, we will start figuring out plans for next year.
Yay.
I would mark April in general on your calendar, but we will announce dates on the weekend soon. And at least you can put that on your calendar if you want. You can start to look at booking through mainstmagictravel.com, and then we will start to announce additional details because we have to reconvene and decide, are we doing it like we've always done it again? Or are we going to switch the whole thing up? We don't know yet. So we'll see. But a huge thank you to everybody that was involved, everyone that helped out, especially like Gary, Chuck, Amy, Steve was a big part of making sure everything happened on Saturday. Just everyone who participated, vacation, grocery delivery, mouse dining, Malia, just it was awesome. It was amazing. You and I did not do the actual challenge this year.
No, we didn't.
So we kind of set ourselves on our own little challenge. What did we accomplish? What did we accomplish that day?
Well, we accomplished 4 parks in one day.
Yeah.
And it was a ride in each park and a snack in each park.
Yeah.
So that was super fun.
We had fun.
We
It was
did.
great. Do you want to talk about the snacks through all 4 parks? Because this will be our little snacking tour, I guess, now.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Well, we had to start at Animal Kingdom because we did have to drop off a packet to one of the teams that was starting there. So
Yes,
we got
we
over
did.
there prior to 7:30 in their early entry.
When we dropped it off, and then
Yeah.
so there's a Joffrey's outside the park, and there was lines, so we were like, let's just go stand and wait in this little
Yeah.
line instead of the giant line and let it kind of go down some. So there was a Savannah banana latte, and I was like, all right, I want this. It is a wild ice latte with banana, strawberry, and chocolate syrup topped with whipped cream and a cherry. 16 ounces for $6.49.
Can be made decaf.
It can.
Yeah.
So
I
you
got a decaf.
Yep.
You got a regular.
Yep.
Yeah. What'd you think of this?
I thought it was fine. I think I tasted more chocolate than I did in mine because they're all handcrafting these. And maybe a little strawberry. I really didn't taste the banana, which I was kind of disappointed about. But it was coffee. It was iced, and it was really good in the morning right now because I was up early.
Yes.
Amy was nice enough to
we're
be
up
the
at like
Uber
6.
and drop us off.
Right.
And then we just took, Disney bus transportation, or actually
We did all 4 modes of
we
transportation.
did all 4
as well.
modes. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did bus, boat, Skyliner,
Yes.
and one of my
Monorail.
Monorail. Yeah, I loved this. I thought it
Yours
was
tasted
really
more
good.
like banana. You said.
Yeah, mine had more banana and a slight hint of chocolate, but it was a perfect amount.
Yeah.
Like I realized I like Chobani creamer at home,
Mhm.
and I got one recently that was cookie dough. I'm like, that's amazing. That'll be great. And it's good, but it's just too much. Like you just get cookie dough. This was really perfect little hints.
Nice.
So I don't know if this just ended and this was April's only like beverage of the month at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Now that it's May, it could be gone, but they're usually going to feature something every month. We tend to get them, or Rhonda does at least,
Yep.
and they're usually pretty good.
Yeah.
So we were there. We wanted breakfast, and we wanted something new to us. That this is what all the dessert, the snacks were going to be. But this is fairly new in general.
Yeah.
This is available at several quick service spots all throughout
Mhm.
Animal Kingdom. We went to the one in Pongu, which is open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we got Marshall's favorite stuffed pancake sandwich.
Mm.
So for $8.99, this is a pancake that's basically stuffed, a big thick pancake, basically stuffed with sausage, guava jelly, egg, and cheese.
Hmm.
It's going to come to you hot, wrapped in like basically a tinfoil kind of sandwich wrapper thing.
Yep.
What did you think?
I really liked it.
Did you? Okay.
It reminded me of if you go to McDonald's
Mhm.
and you get your basically McGriddle.
Yeah, the McGriddles.
Yep. Where it's like pancakes, and then you can get when I get it, I just get sausage, so it's basically like pancake and sausage.
Yeah.
But you can get sausage, egg, and cheese. I thought it was really good. I really liked the taste of it together. So yeah.
Yeah, I was neither here nor there.
I mean, you ate a lot of it.
I did. I thought I was starving. I thought it was fine. You're right. Instead of getting that hint of sweetness from syrup, you got a hint of sweetness from the guava jelly that was inside, but there wasn't a ton of it, which I thought was fine. More guava jelly, I don't think it would have worked well. It just, again, it was more pancake than it was everything else. I just thought the proportions were off. I did enjoy it. I just would prefer getting like a regular breakfast sandwich, or you can get
like the bagel one.
Yeah, like the bagel one you see all throughout Magic Kingdom. Yeah, or I'm pretty sure Kusafari still does like a bacon, egg, and cheese, or bacon sausage, or I'm sorry, sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant. Like I just would prefer one of those, but I'd highly recommend everyone tries one of these at one point because it is very interesting.
Yeah,
and this thing's like 1.5 inches, close to 2 inches thick.
Yeah.
And completely encompasses the filling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like a pancake. It's not like the McGriddle where it's pancakes as
Right.
buns.
Right.
This is like completely stuffed.
Yep.
So from there, I thought our best bet was to bus to Hollywood Studios. Remember, park to park hopping buses still don't start till 10 a.m.
Right.
Even though there is no park hopping time limit now once you go to your first park if you have reservations, or if it's Tuesday after 3 on days that end in Y or something. Was it that morning? What was the morning that I had to ask that question?
Yes, it was. No, it was.
Oh, Sunday morning, maybe?
was
I think
Friday
it was.
morning.
Yeah, Friday morning.
Because we did the live.
That's right. And I just remember asking, I was like, okay, it's Friday. The park hopping is no longer limited to 2 p.m., but if I want to go to Magic Kingdom today, do I still have to scan in at my first park, or can I go after 2 p.m.? But it was so I just switched my reservation to Magic Kingdom, and then we never went. So I thought it makes sense to bus over to Hollywood. We could then Skyline to Epcot. We could monorail to Magic Kingdom. So we headed over to Hollywood Studios. We had one snack here, and where did we go? What did we get?
We went to Backlot Express, which is open from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And we got the Wookiee cookie, which this is 2 oatmeal cookies with vanilla cream filling garnished with a milk chocolate sash on top for $6.79. This thing was as big as our head.
Yeah.
Our face, I mean. Not our whole head, our face. It was huge.
Yeah.
So it's an oatmeal cookie without the raisins, which is good. The vanilla cream, the cookie was great. The vanilla cream was great. The chocolate sash was great. It was just a lot.
It was too much cookie.
It was a lot.
Yeah. These were much thicker than like the cookie sandwiches you're getting over at Caramel Couche. Like these are double that thickness. This is like a cookie pie. I think it's huge.
I think you could have cut it in half, like down the center where the 2 cookies came out, and shared it and just iced it, kept the icing and shared it among 4 people.
Oh,
you could have taken the one top. So top and bottom instead of slicing it. You take the top and bottom, open it up, have icing on both ones.
Yeah.
I share half of one cookie with you. And if we had the girls or Chuck and Allie, Chuck and Amy, whoever with us.
Anybody named Chuck.
Steve.
Yeah.
And they would have cut that in half.
Okay.
That would have been.
That's how big it was. It should have just been an iced cookie.
It was a lot.
Yeah, if it was an iced cookie, it'd be perfect. Because the flavors were there, but it was just so much cookie.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was.
I wouldn't get it again unless I had a whole bunch of people to share it with.
But your ratio of icing to cookie is still going to be off.
But
that
that's
cookie
why I said
needed
you
the
put
icing, but they're not giving you extra icing. If all they did, we're talking way too much about this cookie. You just did a 7-part math problem on it, and I still don't understand where we're at. I don't know where you're getting the extra icing from, because it needs
I think there's enough
They
icing.
should have never put the second cookie on the top. It shouldn't have been a sandwich. It should have been an iced cookie.
Okay.
With that same amount of icing and same amount of one
That'd
cookie.
have been still too
And
much.
it would have been good.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So from there, we did head to Epcot.
And we skylined.
Yeah, we did Skyline to Epcot, and we went to Mitsukoshi in Japan. And there was one item here that I wanted. We actually saw these last time. They have all these interesting snacks in the back there, right? And they have everything from like shrimp flavored chips. They've got mochi, both like room temp and cold. They've got the
Mochi.
What'd
you call it?
Mochi. They have just all kinds of like flavored Kit Kats and what is the panda ones? The panda snacks. They're like little almost stuffed cookies. They have Poppin' Cookin' that the girls used to love and get, like so many different things. One of the ones I had heard about was the pizza chips. And it's a mid-sized bag of these pizza chips. They're pizza flavored. They're ruffled chips, and they're actually really, really good.
They were not bad.
It's so funny because I feel like this is what the Japanese culture must think of Americans, is that we want to eat chips flavored like pizza. We do. And I guarantee I can go to Publix right now and I can find chips flavored like baby back ribs, tacos,
but not pizza.
But you can. They have. I'm pretty sure they have pizza Pringles.
Oh,
but no, these are great.
Yeah, they weren't bad.
Like it has those hints of just a pizza. Like if you're eating, combos make a pretzel or no, I'm sorry, it's a cracker filled pizza filling. Super duper good. So I really enjoyed these. Then I love rice crackers. And I like bar mixes, and they basically had a rice cracker bar mix with all these different. And in the end, no Steves were harmed in the making of this story, and we are only laughing.
It's not
because
funny.
everything is okay. and we love Steve very, very much, and we are glad that this did not go another direction. So now we're able to laugh about it. So I got this snack mix and took it back to the Treehouse. I thought this would actually be great. Like I poured some in a bowl. I was like, this is just like a bar snack mix.
Japanese bar mix.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling it because I can't read the label. It's in Japanese. Something on there is not in Japanese that should have been read prior. So we're sitting around and Steve starts eating them and he's just eating this by the handful. And there was this one thing, it looked like a egg, like a small egg. And you shook it and you could hear a rattle. Something was inside it. So Steve's like, here's like a green one. I'm going to try this one. So he bites into it and it's got this soft outside coating. It's not a candy shell, but it feels like it. And inside's a peanut. And so he's eating it. He's like, I can't really place this flavor. This is interesting. I was like, well, let me try one. So he hands me one. I think it had like brown speckles on it. They look like little quail eggs or something. So I bite into it. Peanut, same thing. And I'm just tasting it. And I'm like, this doesn't sound weird, but I'm like, I get a flavor of shrimp.
You said it tastes like shrimp.
It tastes like shrimp.
And I look at Steve immediately and I'm like, oh,
I was very allergic to shrimp and
yes.
shellfish. All crustaceans, fish. Basically, if it comes out of the ocean, it could kill Steve.
It's not funny.
So immediately, Rhonda and Steve, I don't catch anything because I'm not that type. I could see Steve every weekend for the rest of my life, and I'm just every weekend I'd probably be like, "Hey man, you want to eat some shrimp?" Like I'm just. It's one of those things, and you're so good at.
Well, no, I'm also one that forgets.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'll be like, "Oh, you want?" And then I'm like, "Oh yeah."
But again, we were first of all, it was out, so we didn't say, "Steve, eat this stuff." Second, it's not like we got the shrimp flavored chips, which is a thing.
Yeah.
We did not get the shrimp chips. Like I think we would have known better to offer that. So Rhonda starts reading the label.
He asked if he could have some.
He's like, can I have some? We're like, sure, go at it, man. Nothing in there could potentially come close to killing you. So Rhonda starts reading the ingredients, and one of the first ingredients is shrimp powder. One of the second ingredients is squid powder. Then, clearly written, though small, is allergen list. Number 1, crustaceans. Number 2, fish. Like number 3, like shellfish. Like,
yeah. So,
and we're like,
I mean, he immediately got up and went. Yeah.
Like we're actually like,
I'm literally like, do I have to take you to the hospital?
Yeah. So he went and he doubled up, tripled up on
all
some
kinds
Benadryl, on some antihistamine. Like he went and he was fine.
He was
fine.
He was itchy a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit itchy. I think a little bit sluggish, but he was okay.
Yep.
And we were like, all right, if we got to take you somewhere, we'll take you somewhere. But yeah, I just. And Steve's just the type where I know in the back of the mind, he's thinking, oh no. And in the front of his mind, he's going, how would there be? He's like, leave it to the Japanese to put shrimp powder in there because you wouldn't think that would be a seasoning. That's not, I probably can't go to Publix without going to the regular spices aisle and find a shrimp powder, but it's very understandable it would be in that cuisine, in that culture. So it is something to note, though, honestly. I mean, we can laugh about this,
yes.
But in all honesty, a very, very serious note.
Yeah.
And, for those of you, again, we were buying this. Steve wasn't buying it.
Right.
But I don't even know that Steve would have bought this in Japan and thought, let me check the allergen list. And I know that people who have allergies or family members are very good about that stuff and checking. But just to note, the last thing you think might potentially cause an allergy issue could. So just be careful when you're shopping for some of these snacks. Japan.
And that's why Disney's so good about everything when you do say you have an allergy and the chef will come out and talk to you.
Yeah. They'll show you the list of ingredients. Yep. They'll show you everything. So they need a snack specific one in Japan. if we could get that, so we don't kill Steve. And then that story would follow. Like we even came home. The girl's like, "How was the weekend?" We're like, "It was great. Almost killed Steve." And they're like, "What?"
And they love Steve. So they were like, "What?"
Steve's their emergency contact if they're in Orlando without us. So let's move on though. We had a couple other treats here. We went to Joy of Tea over in China. Open from 11 to 9. And they have pork egg rolls, 2 pieces of them for $5.75. We have never gotten these. They also have a bountiful amount of alcoholic cocktails,
which remind me of it's like they've done so well at the festivals that they've brought them
the Kung
over.
Fu Punch, the Tipsy Ducks in Love, not the Sea Butterfly,
but
they
it
have
is
it by a different
like
name,
a
but
dragon
it's a butterfly that is very similar.
Very.
So it's like the festival favorites that are being served here, and people are lining up.
Oh,
Let me tell you, because that line was deep.
Yes.
But we went ahead and we got the pork Egg rolls.
Yep.
What did you think? 2 pieces, $5.75.
They were great pork egg rolls. Good little snack. Hold you over. Like
You get them from your local takeout place.
They had the duck sauce and the mustard
your spicy
spicy
mustard
that
that
I
you like.
loved, and I just mixed that together and ate it, and I thought it was great.
Sometimes you just need a snack.
Yeah.
And you need something familiar, you know, and this is it.
Yep.
And especially when you look at kids that are very specific about their items, and we know that we have them. You could say there's sometimes you could go, man, every time we get takeout from our local Chinese place, I get a side of pork egg rolls, and my 7-year-old loves them.
Yep.
And then you go to like maybe just say, and I don't know, we haven't had them. Let's say you go to Morimoto. You're like, oh, egg rolls, this is perfect.
And they're all
And it's
fancy.
kind of fancy, and it's, Morimoto egg rolls, and your kid hates them. These are your takeout ones.
Yep.
So if your kid loves pork egg rolls from your local Chinese takeout place, then he's going to love these, or she. So get them in that sense, but I'd save that $5.75 for maybe a festival dish that you can't get locally. We've eaten most of them. One thing we had not eaten, I'd done the peanut butter and jelly swirl soft serve,
and I wanted
swirl
my
showcase.
And I wanted my soft serve. So
what'd you get?
We went to Swirled Showcase and
say that 5 times fast.
And I got the peanut butter and vanilla swirl for $6.50 in a waffle cone. I loved it. It was fantastic, but it was kind of hot, and we walked over to inside and was sitting at Rose and Crown.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, my poor soft serve was melting very quickly.
Yeah, but it was so good.
It was.
I like peanut butter and jelly, and I really enjoyed the peanut butter and jelly swirl, but this is the better choice.
Oh, I told you.
Like, it was so good.
It was.
And I was shown a magic trick at Rose and Crown.
Yeah,
I
funny.
went to get napkins because this was dripping everywhere. And by the way, if you do hand someone, like if you were to hand your husband a ice cream, and you were to say it's melting, a better thing would be to say it is dripping outside of the bottom of the cone, because I was not aware and dripped it all over my shirt and my shorts. Now, luckily, this was not chocolate ice cream. It would have been on the wrong side of me. Although I have seen babies that they can get that stuff up front somehow. I don't know how that works out, but it's scary. So anyway, no, I'm walking back from getting napkins. And there's a guy sitting there, and he holds out 3 packets. One was a sugar packet. One was like a stevia or whatever. And there were 3 different color packets, right? And he's holding that in a napkin. He says, pick one. Oh, okay. So I pick one. It was
I
the
thought you
yellow
knew
one.
this guy.
Yeah.
I'm over here.
Well, I'll tell you the rest of it. So I pick one. It's the yellow one. And he hands me the napkin. And I'm like, okay. Is there a number on here? I'm just, and so I look at the napkin, and he goes, open it. And I open it, and it says, you'll pick the yellow one. And I'm sure anybody who's a magician is like, well, that's easy. This is how you do it. I don't know how he did it. So I'm just dumbfounded with what's happening. And I said, how'd you do that? And he goes, you don't know? And he pointed at my shirt, which is Main Street Magic Podcast. And he said, is that a magic podcast? And I said, no, it's a Disney podcast. And then we stared at each other awkwardly for a moment. And then I went and sat down. But it was super cool.
But
it was a very confusing moment that all of a sudden wrapped up where both of us were like, oh, okay. That's where the confusion is.
No, that's funny.
Finally, I was trying to look around to see what kind of non-alcoholic beverages they had, and I've been having some non-alcoholic beers at home, and I like beer. Like, I've always liked beer. I just stopped drinking it because it was making me fat, because I would drink way too many of them every time I drank them, and it was too much. And I didn't drink light. Like, I didn't drink super light beers like they have now, where you go run a mountain and then you have a Michelob Ultra.
Right.
You know, I've never ran a mountain. But I don't imagine that afterwards I would want a Michelob Ultra, right? It's like, have you seen the Coca-Cola commercials where somebody's out and they're sweating like crazy, and then they go inside and they chug a carbonated Coca-Cola? What kind of psychopath are you? Have you ever tried to chug a soda? And that's just in your everyday life. That's not after you've just been doing yard work or running down the side of a mountain. How can you chug a carbonated beverage
I don't
without
know.
you're just esophagus exploding. So I did find at Trowel and Trellis a Kolsch style non-alcoholic, a 12 ounce for $9.75. It tasted like a good beer.
Oh,
Tasted
good.
like a delicious beer on a hot day in Epcot, which I miss very, very much. But at least I can get that one.
Nice.
And then we were going around and looking at other stuff, and I was like, I wish that was non-alcoholic. I wish that was non-alcoholic. I was like, these all look pretty good. Like, So we then monorailed over to Magic Kingdom, and probably shockingly to all our listeners, where did we eat for the first time ever?
Friar's Nook.
Yeah.
This is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
We've gotten ice cream there before.
Yes,
but we've never gotten savory food.
And we got the creamy bacon macaroni and cheese tots for $11.49. And holy moly, this tasted like an actual baked potato with mac and cheese on top.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
It
Like
was so good.
it was. The tots were nice and crispy. It was fantastic. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
It's mac and cheese with some bacon crumbles on it and tater tots.
And a dollop of sour cream.
Yeah, it was
Like
fantastic.
it was, this is about as simple a food as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Most people could press stop right now. Don't, please listen to the rest of this. Most people could press stop right now, go into their kitchen in their pantry, and probably make this dish. Technically, a lot. If you have kids, you got tots in the freezer.
Tots are not
right?
in your pantry.
Well, but what I'm saying, in your freezer, your fridge, whatever, you can probably
Okay.
make this, right?
Yeah.
But when you can take something that's simple, that are familiar flavors, and just do them right and make them taste good, and here's where they succeed, because I would think of these as loaded tots, is what I'm thinking. But no, they said this is loaded mac and cheese, because a loaded tot, you put a bed of tots, you scoop the mac and cheese on top. By the time you get to the tots, they're soggy. What was so genius is that this is the mac and cheese was the base, and they put the crispy tots on top. So as you
They
went,
sure
you got your tot, and then you scooped up the mac and cheese, and that was
Mhm.
your bite. If that's reversed, you got soggy tots, and nobody wants soggy tots. I can tell you that much right now.
Oh, okay.
So I really enjoyed it, and I would like. They do have another one that has bratwurst and stuff on it.
I would like to try that now.
That would be good as well. Did we eat anything else at Magic Kingdom?
Yeah, we got
I'm not turning this into an after dark show.
We went to the Main Street Confectionery. This is open from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. You get 20% off for your Disney annual pass holder and 10% off if you have a Disney Visa. We got the peanut butter cookie pie, which is peanut butter cookie, chocolate frosting, and then peanut butter M&Ms on top for $5.49. We also got a marshmallow Minnie Mouse little pop.
Chocolate covered
White
marshmallow
chocolate.
Minnie Mouse, right? White chocolate.
Yep. And then Jeremy got smoothie Skittles.
Smoothie Skittles were new. I had not seen those.
And so
The
you love those.
berry, or I think it's the berry is still my
Mhm.
favorite, and then probably regular Skittles, then these. Tropical's good. Don't care. for
who
sour.
did we run into twice? Two people.
Yes, we sure did. I didn't get to that part yet. I have them next after
Okay.
we finish up this. But yeah, no, I do have those listed at Epcot. I'd been seeing about this peanut butter cookie pie.
Yep.
It's really good. We
It was
actually
really
just finished it.
Great
today.
cookie. Great peanut butter
Yep.
cookie. The chocolate was perfect. It was
It's
just
peanut butter M&Ms are
Yep.
on top of that
Perfect.
chocolate.
Yep.
The only thing I think it could really use now that like I'm big on this because of Lacey is a big sea salt on top. I think sea salt on top would have set it off. Like that really is so dang good. But yeah, we kind of just ate everywhere. And I will say too, I did mobile order for any of these places that allowed mobile order,
Mhm.
including Main Street Confectionery.
Mhm.
And it really is a time saver.
Yeah, it is.
And it makes it so easy. We had a gift card. So as we said before, I copied that gift card number and had it in my notes app. All I had to do was copy and paste it when I was doing mobile order. The only mobile order that took longer than going up to the window was at Friar's Nook when I went up to get my mobile order, and a lady had made her way there who wanted to just order as though it was a regular window, and the cast member was nice enough to take her order, get her food, put her on her way, because I don't think she was going to take no for an answer. Let's just say that. It was that type of guest, right? And so I'm just standing behind waiting to show my phone, but they were fresh, they were great.
Yep.
Mobile order is
Yep.
is awesome. As Rhonda was just mentioning, we did run into 2 listeners that were nice enough to come up and say hello. First, we were in the jewelry store, Uptown Jewelers, looking at the Pandora stuff in Hollywood Studios. And Donnie came up and said hello. And it was cool. I chatted him for a second. He said, thank you for, my transparency with everything going on recently. He's actually 6 years sober. So it was neat just to chat and hear from him.
Super cool.
And then we ran into Brian in Mexico.
At
as we were
Epcot.
wedding at Epcot.
Yep.
Another listener that came up and said
Super
hi.
cool.
So thank you guys so much for saying hello. We love that.
Yes, we do.
It's the best. Whew. Well, that's all I got to say about that. That was just half of our trip.
I know. I know. So let's see. So
we still have to cover.
And then
Moving over to Polynesian for 2 nights. Everything that we did there, which we had on Monday, we had like the poly day. If you want to have the most perfect day staying at the Polynesian, listen to the next episode.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. I don't know that I could change anything about it, but you'll hear about that. You'll hear about dinner at California Grill. We made a stop at Narcoossee's on the way. We did breakfast at 1900 Park Fair, Trader Sam, Tango Lounge. Like, we did it all. So go ahead and tune in next episode and you will get that. Whether that breaks 2 hours, I'm not sure, but thank you guys for listening. Hopefully some of you had some road trips or something. Liv, I would just save these. It's too late to tell you now, but I would save these for your drive back down here to Florida from Missouri. Big shout out to Liv and Maddie and Riley, who came down from Main Street 16 and drove. From Missouri and home. And not
now,
only that, now in less than a week, they are driving back down to do the cruise.
Less than a week, because in 1 week, we will have departed. We will be having sail away party.
That's crazy.
I know.
I'm excited.
I know.
We watched. Let's go watch some YouTube videos.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. We are not going to take up any more of your time. Make sure you hit subscribe. You get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. You get the rest of this trip. Plus, I can already tell you it's going to be a 2-parter on our Disney Magic review. You got that coming up, a whole lot more. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And of course, as long as you're out there, we would be so very thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.